station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Coming up on the news at noon, heading to Hawaii to help, how local fire and rescue crews are stepping up as wildfires devastate entire towns thousands of miles away. And happening now, free laptops for families in need, how to know if you qualify and where you can pick one up.
And folks, it is finally sunny and quiet out there, turning out to be a beautiful Wednesday. The question is, how long does this nice weather stick around? We'll have your full forecast in just a bit.
All right, Damon, thank you. Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us for the news at noon. I'm Mark Hall. The death toll from the Maui wildfire has risen to at least 106. Two of those victims have been identified, Robert Dykeman and Buddy Jantok. Now, both of them were Maui residents. Another 3 victims have been identified as well. Their names will be released once the county has notified their next of kin. Right now, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services is working to identify more victims. Now, local crews from Maryland are gearing up to head to Hawaii to help. Our Dave Laval is live in Rockville, where Maryland Task Force 1 is staging this afternoon. Good afternoon, Dave.
Good afternoon, Mark. Right now, things are in a holding pattern. Maryland Task Force 1 received the deployment orders last night. What's held things up is how to get the team to Maui. Roughly 70 people will head there to help with search and rescue and other relief efforts. 50 members, we're told, are made up of Montgomery County fire and rescue personnel. The rest come from D.C., Howard, and Prince George's County, along with a few civilians. Task Force 1 routinely gets deployed after a disaster, and this is not the first time the team has had to wait before it left. The team's spokesman told us that can be frustrating.
You're all ramped up, you got a lot of energy, and you're ready to go. And now we're in a staging moment where we're waiting for the rest of the logistics to be finished. And we're not sure when we're going to leave. Are we going to leave in an hour or 2 hours?
One option being considered is for the team to fly commercially from either Baltimore, Dulles, or Reagan National Airports and send their gear on a charter flight. Maryland Task Force 1 is expected to be in Maui anywhere between 7 to 14 days. But a big question is, when will the team leave for there? And just before we went on the air, we heard some rumblings that may not happen until Thursday morning. We're live in Rockville. Dave Laval, DC News Now.
Dave, thank you. A new lawsuit alleges that downed power lines led to the Maui fire. A Hawaiian couple is suing Hawaiian Electric, saying the company failed to shut off power lines during a high wind watch. And it led up to the fires. The National Weather Service mentioned the danger of downed power lines. In 2020, Maui County's hazard mitigation plan classified the area as high risk for wildfires. And right now, the Red Cross needs your help. Our parent company, Nexstar Media, is working with the Red Cross to fund the relief effort in Maui. You can scan the QR code on your screen to learn more about ways you can help. And right now, Montgomery County Public Schools is finding itself at the center of an investigation surrounding sexual harassment allegations against a high school principal. Montgomery County teachers and leaders are responding to a report detailing the accusations. Our Randy Bass is breaking down what they're saying this afternoon.
A lot to unpack here today. The president of the local teachers union saying the recent allegations against Paint Branch High School principal Joel Beidelman point to a failure to protect students and staff against harassment and bullying. More on that response in a moment. First, we break down some of those allegations made by dozens of MCPS staff and community members who came forward and spoke with the Washington Post. According to that article, Beidelman, now taking a leave of absence, had at least 18 verbal or written complaints filed against him. Those came in during his time at Roberto Clemente and Farquhar Middle Schools. Those complaints came from MCPS staff members, parents, and union stewards, some as far back as 2016. That report detailing troubling text messages, uncomfortable interactions on and off school grounds, and more. Despite those reports, Beidelman was promoted to principal at Paint Branch High School in Burtonsville. More now on the statement and response from Montgomery County Education Education Association President Jennifer Martin saying MCPS leaders chose to dismiss or ignore pleas from members and the compelling evidence we provided. Montgomery County Executive Mark Elrich calling those allegations concerning, saying he also has questions of his own right now.
Who is responsible for ensuring that these allegations are properly reviewed? And did the school system conduct reviews of the complaints before promoting this principal? I don't know how you make a promotion decision without clearing those complaints and reaching some conclusion about them.
As for what's next, right now, WTOP News is reporting the school system hired the Jackson Lewis law firm to perform an independent investigation into the matter. In the studio, I'm Brady Bass, DC News Now.
On the Virginia side, students in Fairfax County rallying around the school district's decision to keep its current policies around transgender students. FCPS will continue to allow students to be addressed by their chosen names and pronouns. The superintendent says the district finds their current policies are consistent with federal and state anti-discrimination laws required by Governor Glenn Youngkin's new model policies. And an update this afternoon, officials say that district dogs on Rhode Island Avenue will not be reopening. 10 dogs drowned when floodwaters broke through the building's front window during Monday's heavy rain. And that's according to the Washington Post. A D.C. councilman is calling for an investigation into the incident. And he also says that rescue crews should have been on the scene sooner. Meantime, pet owners are stopping by the daycare to remember and honor the dogs that died in the flood.
15 minutes from the time employees from District Dogs were calling into 911 until authorities were officially dispatched.
It's really sad. It's really hard. I couldn't imagine like having my dog and then coming back and being told like it drowned. Like the cause of death is so tragic, you know, so sad.
Our district officials say the Northeast Boundary Tunnel should help with historically bad flooding in the area. It was scheduled to start operating back in March. As of right now, there's no official date when the tunnel will open. Well, new this afternoon, a recent Associated Press poll shows that Americans are divided over if they think former President Donald Trump did something illegal during the 2020 election. The survey found 53% of people approved of the Justice Department indicting the former president for his efforts to remain in office in 2020. The survey also found 85% of Democrats approve of the criminal charges brought by Special Counsel Jack Smith. Meantime, over 15% of Republicans agree. New details surrounding former President Trump's fourth indictment. Fulton County court system says that they accidentally released what appeared to be a list of the former president's criminal charges before he was indicted earlier this week. Fulton County clerk says the document was released on their website because she was doing a trial run on the court's filing system. She says that she she says that she did this to try to prevent issues that arise with entering a large indictment. The clerk's office says they took the document down when they learned about the mishap. Meantime, the former president's chief of staff, Mark Meadows, is trying to move his charges in Fulton County to federal court. He is then expected to ask the judge to dismiss the case. Meadows is facing several charges, including racketeering. Meadows is denying any wrongdoing in helping the former president reverse his 2020 election loss in the state of Georgia. Gas prices across the country are on the rise, and despite high oil production here in the U.S., drivers in the DMV are feeling the effects of high prices. Gas in Maryland, Virginia, and D.C. are all up around 25 cents in the last month. Some drivers we spoke to say the price of gas is starting to get out of hand.
1 week you can fill up, and then the next week, it's cutting into the budget. But, you have to put it into your finances because you have to get around.
I work from home and have been working from home now for the last few years. So I drive every day, but it's not that far. I would say just running errands close to home. So the good news is I don't burn up a lot of gas.
Well, AAA says the price increase is due to the price of crude oil jumping in recent months. Well, if you want to find the gas station with the lowest prices near you, just scan the QR code on your screen to head to DC News Now's Gas Tracker. Well, Maryland tax-free week runs until this Saturday at midnight. Many Marylanders are stocking up on back-to-school savings. Those items primarily include clothing, footwear priced at $100 or less, and it also includes the first $40 of backpack sales.
It's the best week of the year to, whether it's you need a wardrobe refresh or you're buying your kids uniforms or clothes for back to school.
We're able to connect with families who are local who may not regularly shop.
Big purchases like computers, tablets for the kids. It's just good to save money.
And by shopping local for tax-free week, those dollars are going right back into the community. Also new this afternoon, a suspected alligator sighting in Prince George's County may be something less alarming. The Maryland Department of Natural Resources says that neighbors at the lighthouse at Twin Lakes Apartments in Beltsville reported seeing an alligator near a pond on the property. They snapped photos and apartment management sent them off to DNR. An officer came out to look for the reptile but didn't find anything. Wildlife experts say that it was likely a lizard that shocked locals, and those lizards are kind of large, are considered a large reptile that can grow up to 4 feet. Taking a live look outside at the National Monument. It's going to be warm today, my sources tell me, but the humidity is going to be low. Let's head over now to my source, Damon Matson, who joined us with the latest check on the forecast. Damon, how are things looking?
Oh, Mark, I was just about to ask you who your source was, but no, there you go. Yeah, we are looking at much improved conditions out there today, folks. Finally, this week has not been a quiet one on the weather front to start out, but we are changing things up as we move through this Wednesday and into the second half of the week. Temperatures, oh yes, they're starting to warm up with plenty of sunshine in place into the lower and middle 80s from Leesburg and Frederick through D.C. into southern Maryland, still holding on to some comfortable 70s across western Maryland into West Virginia, but we all are easily going to reach up into the 80s today. But here is where the difference is made. The cold front, that pesky cold front that was over the DMV the last couple of days, sparking up this active weather, it also had a lot of humidity out in front of it. But now that that front is east of us, dew points are in a much more manageable range, upper 50s to mid 60s. So not exactly the most crisp air, but then again, it is August and it's feeling rather comfortable now that we did drop those dew points and those humidity levels. And there it is, that pesky cold front. It's not budging much, sitting right off of the Atlantic coastline, but that's far enough away from us that we are enjoying this much more comfortable and beautiful setup. Check it out, folks. Going through the rest of your Wednesday afternoon, we will experience a few additional clouds here and there, especially across our western counties. But aside from that, temperatures will stay in the mid 80s. Humidity levels will remain low throughout the rest of the day today. But should we expect some of that humidity to return as we go through your Thursday and Friday? And could this have an impact then eventually on the weekend? Forecast, we'll have a full check of all of that coming up in just a bit.